Our honest thoughts on Drive to Survive Season 5. Oh my God, Tommy. That's so many Drive to Survive seasons. And we've been lucky enough to get early access to it. We've binged the life out of it. And don't worry, we will be avoiding as many spoilers. If I was you, I don't want to see spoilers. I want to enjoy Drive to Survive. We just want to give you our thoughts. Maybe before you head into it, you might watch this or listen to this after you've watched Drive to Survive. Either or, welcome. How we're going to do this is essentially go through some of your questions that you sent in via our Twitter, MattP1Tommy, and we'll just dive into it that way. So first and foremost, let's begin with, is it good? I think, considering we didn't have the greatest of overall seasons in terms of championship fights and whatnot, it's one of the better Drive to Survive seasons. I think that they've cut down on the BS. They focused in on some very interesting storylines. Of course, you've got the likes of the Oscar Piastri stuff. Then you've got the whole Daniel Ricciardo situation. There's plenty of things that they kind of honed into, which I enjoyed. I thought it went quite smoothly. It feels very much like a Drive to Survive. So maybe it's got a limited shelf life as to how many more they could possibly do like this. But I personally enjoyed it.
I'd say it's good. Is it great? No, in my opinion. I think it's good. It's watchable. It's certainly not bad.
And it's probably worth mentioning as well, we are two hardcore Formula One fans that are not easily pleased by any stretch, especially Tommy, right? It has to be a blockbuster in order for it to be great. The next question is, how much of last season is overly dramatized or misrepresented? I would say they've definitely cut down on the misrepresentation side of things. I think there's always going to be drama associated with Drive to Survive and Netflix shows. So you know what you're going to get when you tune in to a Drive to Survive. That's what we expect. I think that they didn't hype up any stupid teammate rivalries. In terms of the actual overall storylines and how they go about stuff, I don't feel like there was much that was really leading us down the wrong path.
For me, the good thing was they just focused on the actual stories that happened. So Kevin Magnussen in Bahrain, that is a feel-good story, him finishing P5. It's not like they were hyping up him finishing 17th in a race or like that ridiculous Mazepin episode in the last season when he just finished last and they were making it sound like he'd saved his drive. So I think fans will be very pleased to hear that side of it.
Did they listen to the complaints the drivers had? I guess that ties in with misrepresentation. So I would say, yes, they clearly have changed their direction. They ran the risk of losing certain drivers from the series. Of course, Max Verstappen being one of the big sort of drivers deciding to now take part in the series. I'm sure that is with the understanding that if he is going to be in it, he is represented properly. And there's a clip that was going around from maybe last season or the season before of where Norris is actually watching that season and saying, well, that's not right. That's not what I said, etc., etc. So you need these key elements, these key players, the Norrises, the Verstappens, who have a reasonably big part in this series. They need to be happy. Otherwise, they'll see no reason for them to be involved in this. So I would say, yes, they have.
But I think in terms of the drivers, I wonder how much of that is like Lando saying that, if he goes and agrees to this stuff, are they going to take me completely out of context? I feel like this whole season, they've been very careful with it, hoping that they'll drive us back in, maybe to do some more behind the scenes thing and know they're actually going to represent them well and not twist narratives and things like that.
Is it chronological this season, or does every episode go team by team again? It's the same as it always has been. But when I was actually watching this, I can kind of understand the way they do it. The more and more seasons I've gone through and watched it, it's obviously been like, we're going back to the same race again. I already know what's happened. And there are levels to it, I think. But at the same time, I don't know how they would actually cover every storyline if they didn't go back to certain races or to certain moments. There was one moment that was played far too many times, and it's actually the next question as well from Jellycat21. Do Zhou and Alfa Romeo get any attention this season? Yes, mainly him upside down to turn one at Silverstone, because that was played, I think, at three separate occasions for three different episodes as well. We went back to Silverstone. That was maybe a little bit too much, because I was like, Silverstone again? Apart from that, I do I kind of have the understanding now of why they do it, to get every storyline fit into 10 episodes.
And one more thing about the Zhou thing, they didn't even talk to him. They show him barrel rolling upside down, and then the only thing was they kind of got him in the chair for a little bit, and he's like, hello, that was a scary crash, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's not really featured very much, other than just him flying through the air.
On a scale of 1 to Plan E, how much will the Ferrari episodes cause pain? Well, they weren't fun to watch. Reliving those, no, not fun at all, to be honest with you. It's interesting because there are, you get little bits of insight, but I don't think a huge amount. Again, as Tommy kind of alluded to, you don't get enough behind the scenes, like drivers' briefings and stuff like that, where they all sit in their little rooms and they have a briefing. That's the stuff that us F1 fans absolutely crave. And I just don't feel like there was enough of that. But yes, they are painful if you're a Ferrari fan, and I would just close your eyes. Next question. What's Max like since his first time doing the show? I wouldn't say he featured a huge amount, but he featured a little bit here and there, and he seemed quite forthcoming with his answers. But I wouldn't say he was a massive staple in the show, particularly.
No, not at all. You could tell they'd put him in the... Because if you watch the trailer, it's kind of, oh, Max, you're the first time in the chair, and they very much build it around, oh, Max Verstappen's in this one because he's not been in any of them. But it is very much, he's there to do like the talking head bits. There's not like an episode where it's all about Max's life and his story, and he invites them into his home and all this kind of stuff. Sorry, Verstappen fans, but not getting that just yet.
Did they miss any particular moment of the year that is not showcased in the series? One thing they didn't include, which I'm absolutely fuming as a Charles Leclerc fan, is the round the outside move on Hamilton at Copse. Also, one big thing...
I know what's coming.
One big thing that if you're a Sebastian Vettel fan, you will not want to hear. He hardly features at all. Not even at the end. When he retires, it's about Daniel Ricciardo leaving, not him.
Particularly because they don't mention Brazil at all. They don't mention...
That as well, yeah. They had like a 10-second recap
10-second thing of the Russell bit and a 10-second bit at the end about Magnussen's pole. Haas being literally the DTS thing. That is the best moment they could well ever have in their entire history of the team. So the fact that they didn't do that, kind of did this whole episode on Abu Dhabi when there wasn't really anything to play for, but didn't mention Seb. Really, really bizarre.
There's plenty of moments about Haas trying to do well, and Magnussen sticks it on pole in Brazil and there's nothing. Like, very strange. I am going to rate Drive to Survive Season 5 a 7 out of 10. I think that it's a good baseline of episodes throughout. It's an enjoyable watch as a Formula One fan. There isn't anything that just explodes your mind. There's maybe, for me, from a personal standpoint, not enough behind the scenes, not enough snippets and, these things that us hardcore F1 fans want to see as much of. But I can also understand that they are also trying to appease to the newer audience that are still learning about the drivers' personalities and so on. So it's a 7 out of 10, an enjoyable watch, and I think that it will quench the thirst before the first race of the season next weekend.
I'm going to go 6 out of 10. It's similar to you, really. Just, I think that maybe just missing something, maybe more, behind the scenes and stuff like that. And the fact that we've had a lot of Drive to Survive seasons now, maybe, I don't know whether they could introduce something new, because it does feel like it's very samey. You kind of know what episodes are coming and how it's going to be framed.
And we'll see you very soon. Enjoy testing. We're going to be live from, it'll probably be like, when this goes out, maybe like 5 hours time for testing. So come join us, Matt P1 Tommy on Twitch for all the testing stuff. And also we're making some content over on YouTube. So we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.